5, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
All right, welcome in. It's the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. It is episode 72, and I didn't have a name that we can name the podcast after, but since it is Masters Week, we'll just name it after what the par of Augusta National is, which is 72. So I guess that worked out that it is fitting that it's episode 72. It's Masters Week.
There we go.
UConn is the new state of Texas, as that's their fourth straight time they've had the Final Four in Texas, or 3 of the 4 times it's been in Texas that UConn has won it all.
No, it'd be 4.
And we had what's that?
It'd be 4.
Or 4, yeah. 4 of the last 5 then. 4 of the last 5.
Houston twice.
Yep. Yeah, so 4 of the last 5. Got to see one good game of the Final Four. The rest were kind of pear-shaped. The UConn Miami game, that was not much. Sonogo hit 2 threes to start the game with one of the ugliest shots I have ever seen, and I think I wrote down that there's not going to be a whole lot to talk about, and there wasn't. Great run by Miami, but UConn, like they've been all tournament, was just too much. So, and then got the first game of the day was a barn burner, one of the best Final Four games that I can remember. That wasn't a championship game. It was a game where FAU felt like they dominated most of it, and then the first half they had a really good first half, and then they got up, came out guns blazing in the second half, storming. They got up by 14, and I also wrote down that it felt like San Diego State was falling apart. Parrish had a dead ball technical, and then the next possession they had a foul on a 3-point shot and got down by 14, and San Diego State just didn't panic. They just kind of stayed the course, hung around. And next thing you know, Lamont Butler's hitting a game-winning shot. But what an incredible game, guys. Did you what are your thoughts on this game?
I watched while I ran. So I honestly turned it on like the last 2 minutes. I wanted Florida Atlantic to win after I saw they were winning pretty much the whole game. We were like cleaning up around the house, but I wanted them to win. It looked like they were going to, and then Butler did Butler. I don't know. He's a stud. Like, he's coming back too, isn't he?
I think so. I don't know. I guess I haven't really dug too deep into it. Could be.
Thought he was. But yeah, he's a good player.
I don't know, guys. I think when you just look at it, you think FAU's lack of size around the hoop finally caught up to them, especially in that the last 13 minutes of this game. San Diego State had 9 offensive rebounds, I want to say, and like that.
They finished with 12.
12, but I think they had
probably
9
somewhere in there. Yeah.
In that last 12 minutes, and they were just kind of overpowered. FAU. It was too much. FAU, they had the big 7-footer from Russia, and then athletes across him. I guess they had that other big guy too, with the palm tree tattooed on his pec. But it was San Diego State was just too much, and those offensive rebounds and how they were able to dominate and own the glass in that game is what kept them in. If FAU had a little more size and they were able to rebound a little better on the defensive end, they'd probably win that game by 10 points. And
well, just think of how many times where San Diego State, they went 13 of 22. There was a span where they missed like 9 of 12 free throws.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would get bailed out by getting an offensive board and getting a possession out of it. And FAU, for the first 30 minutes of the game, they did a really good job of really kind of exploiting the San Diego State defense, where they were very patient on offense. They had good ball movement. They took good shots. And then the last 10 minutes, it just felt like they were forcing shots. They settled for a lot of bad shots. They kind of they dribble and then let the shot clock run out and then try to cast something up. And that's just not a good way to win in March, or especially in the Final Four. I mean, you could get away with it with a 1 versus 16 occasionally, but it was just kind of like just very uncharacteristic of FAU the last 10 minutes of the game, and SDSU capitalized. And the other part too with the Lamont Butler shot is they were without their two best offensive players on the court. And then Butcher didn't want to said he didn't take a timeout, which is incredible. I ran out of plays, so I figured I'd just let him go.
I don't know. I've always been a fan of not taking a timeout and letting your team go and trying to make something happen. That way it doesn't give a chance for your opposition to set up a defense and try to stop someone, maybe get a 7-footer on the inbound guy. But I'm just curious, what have your guys' thoughts always been? Because like I said, I've always been, hey, go out, let him play, kind of what Roy Williams does, and see what happens. But I'm just curious, what do you guys think on that?
I think it depends on the situation. I think like with off a missed free throw with 10 seconds left, where everything is just kind of helter-skelter, you almost have to go let him play because on one side you allow the defense to get set up and kind of discuss, go over as far as what are you doing on screens, what are you doing situationally, where if there's no timeout, they're just going out running and playing and seeing. But, there's a lot of times too where like I think when you're up in that 20, anywhere from that 15 to like 30 range, I think it's almost better because there's almost too much standing around and then action happens so much later where you don't get a good shot off.
Mm-hmm. And then you kind of get like what Kansas State had this year and Michigan State against Kansas State.
I really just think it also depends on who's on your team and do you trust them to actually make the play. Like Noel, he probably said, screw it, I trust him. And like you said, Kansas State didn't make the right play. So, I mean, it's probably a case-by-case basis. But if I have like a 4th or 5th year senior point guard, I'm probably not going to call the timeout.
Yeah.
And
I was just going to say, because, San Diego State, they trusted Butler knowing that he's a veteran guy. He's been around a while. And they knew he's going to make a play. But, God, it was so close, guys, and so crazy to see how close he was to stepping out of bounds there. I mean, he was centimeters away from ending this San Diego State season by stepping out of bounds.
93 feet, 11 inches. Used every inch of that court.
He needed
Yeah. Yeah, and he had a cool story, too, of, he had a family member that was murdered. He's got a brother that's in the Paralympics that's doing really well. So it was cool. It's cool. That's what March is about, is seeing those cool stories and seeing those guys succeed and battle through that adversity. And then I suppose we can just go right on to the championship game, which there isn't a whole lot to talk about. UConn, like they did the rest of the tournament, pretty much controlled the game. There was a little bit of a stretch right away where UConn was, it took a little bit of time for them to settle in. They had those 3 turnovers early, but once they kind of got where their feet were and just realized that it's just a basketball game, that was really when they started to settle in. They started hitting more shots. Felt like most of their shots were within a 5-foot range from the hoop. And it's a high percentage shot, and San Diego State just kind of settled for threes, and they ended up going 9 minutes without a field goal. And another story is UConn did a really good job of limiting the Aztecs to one shot. It felt like, especially in the first half, and credit San Diego State defense too, where it felt the defense played well and they kept them in. It was only like an 11-point game at halftime. And I wrote down that if they can keep it around that 10-point range, they're going to have a shot to win. And they ended up getting it to within 6. In the end, their offense just was not good enough. And they capitalized on a few UConn turnovers, which they had earlier in the game. And then at the under 4 timeout, I thought Dan Hurley had a good message. He said, guys, if we don't turn the ball over and take care of it, and take good shots, we're gonna be national championships. And that's exactly what happened. They dominated the final 4 minutes and ended up stretching the lead from 6 to it being a 17-point game. And Dan Hurley has himself a national title.
Was this the most dominant run we've ever seen?
Ethan, I am very glad. We didn't discuss this at all, but I wrote down, I had this same thing down on the notes, but it definitely has to be up in the discussion for sure. I mean, they trailed in the tournament for a total of like 5 minutes. I saw.
The majority of that was
they didn't have a game. Yeah, they were trailing in their first half of the first game, and then after that, it was just dominated.
The only other one I could maybe compare with off the top of my head that I know, I got a couple, would be Villanova in 2018. Where they just, rough-shotted through everybody and they couldn't miss. And I don't know how this team played throughout that whole tournament, but I wonder about that 2009 Carolina team. With
that's that one I had down too.
Those are the only other two I could think about where I'm like, okay, yeah, those teams were clearly the best teams in the tournament. It wasn't close.
So I kind of went back and I did some looking. 96 Kentucky has the largest margin of victory in the tournament, but we were 1 and 2 years old, so don't remember that one. The other ones that I have written down was like you, Grant. I had 2009 Carolina. That's probably the one that sticks out in my mind the most. 2012 Kentucky team. Also, their last 2 games were technically close, but Kentucky controlled those ball games from start to finish. The 16 and 18 Villanova team, more so that 18 Villanova team where they just refused to miss at all. And then a couple other ones that I don't really remember, but just going off of margin of victory. 04 UConn was also, they only had 1 game where they were, I believe, it was a 1 possession game where they beat Duke by 1 point in the Final Four. 02 Maryland, also a team, I think their games, they were all double figures except maybe 1. And then 01 Duke, similar, and same with 2000 Michigan State.
Okay.
As far as, yeah. Well, no, what are you talking about? Maryland's in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're definitely of our lifetime of what we remember. They're definitely in the Mount Rushmore of best tournament runs ever.
It's kind of crazy though. Like and again, you play who you can play, but it's almost like this UConn team almost got a pass just because they didn't have to play any great teams. But then that was just college basketball this year. Arkansas, when they played them, they could beat anyone in the country because they beat Kansas. They could also lose to anybody. And then unfortunately, when they played Gonzaga, Timmy got in foul trouble. Miami just wasn't big enough. Their size caught up to them and playing San Diego State in the title game. So it's not like, they had that gauntlet of a tournament run. But, hey, that's not their fault because you play who you play.
Yeah, play who you
and,
play.
They beat that ass whenever they played. So you can't take anything away from them. Just you want some people will say that. They'll be like, the caveat is they didn't play anybody.
That's the NCAA tournament though. It's so dependent on matchups, and you're at the end of the day you're still dealing with college kids where, guy could have his girlfriend dump him like right before tip off and he's not in the right headspace. I don't know if it's ever happened, but you can't tell me it hasn't. It's probably happened at some point.
Oh, I'm sure it has.
I mean, they beat the living shit out of everyone. Like, if anyone's going to complain about who they played, then you obviously don't understand the NCAA tournament at all.
Or watched the way they played. It wouldn't have mattered if they would have played Alabama or Houston, because UConn is just as good defensively as Houston is, but UConn is deeper and they are better offensively. They were one of the better teams if they don't have that lull in January, and then Dan Hurley said, get us now. or because we're going to go on a run here, and well, they did.
Was that after the Villanova loss?
Yep.
It was around there,
Okay.
yeah.
And also, discussion is has you I think UConn you can say has entered blue blood territory. They have to be considered a blue blood.
They've
now.
always been, because let's put it in perspective. This is their 5th title in 24 years. Coach K won 5 titles in over 40 years at Duke. So even take away yesterday's one, that's 4 championships in 23 years. You're a blue blood
with 3 different coaches too.
Coaches, yeah, they've always been there. They just unfortunately fell in the trap of college sports realignment, where they got kicked out of the Big East, or with a formerly Big East, and they went to the American for a couple of years, and then now with the Big East, people kind of forgot about them. And then also, after Kevin Ollie won that title in 2014, they fell flat on their face and he got fired. So we had a 10-year stretch where we kind of forgot about UConn, but 5 titles in 24 years, you're a blue blood. I mean, how many titles does Kentucky have in the last 24 years? 2?
24? They won. I think they won it in 12 and then in 98. I want to say it was 98. What? It was Tubby's first year.
Well,
there.
didn't they win it the years before with Pitino, and essentially Tubby's was Pitino's player? So even if that's the case, let's say 3. 5 is more than 3.
Yeah. We could call it even and just say 3 in our lifetime.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because it was 96, 98, and 12.
There you go.
But like going back to, like, they joined the American because they had that brief run with Randy Edsall where they thought they were a football school, so that's why they moved to the American, and they got the shit kicked out of them. So then I'm pretty sure they're independent now in football, and now to join the Big East, where they get that. They have that recruiting. They're getting that recruiting base back too, where they're playing in the Garden all the time, and they're playing local teams that were, those historic Big East teams. Because there's also, I think, a time too when conference realignment was happening where there was discussion that they really wanted to join the ACC, and they just never got an invite because their football program was so bad. Yeah.
Interesting.
You can make a conference the Big East is the second best basketball conference in the country, and I think it's a very fair argument.
The Big East is back, baby. Now I might have to go watch the 30 for 30 on the old Big East.
I mean, you look at those old teams: Georgetown, Villanova, Providence. When we were younger, Pittsburgh, Louis,
St. John's.
That's college basketball right there.
Who I think they're going to be back. I'm not saying they're going to make the Final Four next year, but Rick Pitino.
Oh yeah.
Say what you want about him. He's a hell of a coach, and he's gonna work in the transfer portal. He's gonna get his guys in, and they're gonna be competing in the Big East next year. I fully expect them to be in the tournament next year.
Transfer portal that helped UConn this year because Newton.
Yep.
Their point guard. He was a former East Carolina guy. He got them in the transfer portal. So you look at the way these coaches are going, and I just checked today because I was curious. Next year's recruiting classes for college basketball, Kentucky's got like 5 5-star players. Well, that might not help you win because you need guys out of the transfer portal. You need adults. You need grown-ass men. Look what happened to Duke this all their freshmen.
Well, Hunter Dickinson, I guess, has a Zoom call with Kentucky tomorrow. So there's that. I think I saw Oscar. What's that?
They'll get a couple older guys to go with them.
Yeah. Well, I think Oscar Sheway is going to be back too, because it sounds like he's not going to be a very good pro, and Kentucky will throw the bag at him.
He's not even going to have a career in Europe playing basketball.
No, you can't take both of those guys. You'd have no spacing whatsoever. Like, you wouldn't be able to penetrate.
Yeah, you couldn't do anything if you kept those guys.
No, I'm not a coach, and I know that.
Well, and Calipari's not a good X's and O's coach either. He's a businessman, and a snake. But X's and O's, he's ass.
Yeah.
So, well, but it's a big name. But so who knows? We'll see what happens. I also saw there's a possibility Hunter Dickinson might come back to Michigan
Because you
too.
enter the transfer portal doesn't mean you're going to leave.
Yeah, and it depends on the school too, because there's certain schools that say once you leave, it doesn't matter, you're not coming back.
Okay.
So what are you eating there, Ethan?
I got some Culver's ice cream.
Oh,
Great girlfriend Hannah
jealous.
grabbed me some, and now we got Mr.
Shout out
Boone.
Hannah.
Mr. Boone wants some really bad.
Hey Boone, hey buddy.
He's been
All
asleep
right.
today. We went on a walk, and he's finally awake now.
Yeah. Well, Grant, there was some big things happening in that happened with you last week. You had knee surgery, and so how's the knee feeling? How did the surgery go? What was did you have a favorite part of it, or what was the worst part? Take us. New segment is story time with Grant.
So
everybody gather around, sit down, cross your legs Indian style, and we're going to get a story from Grant.
First surgery was a success. And for the folks at home wondering which kind of surgery it was a microfracture arthroscopic knee scope. I essentially had a torn right meniscus in 3 separate spots. They were able to go in there with their small little cameras, and they were able to stitch my meniscus back together. So I will have that cushion for the rest of my life. So the threat of arthritis and having a new knee will drop significantly. But since it's the microfracture one, total recovery is going to be 6 to 9 months. So
6 to 9 months?
6 to 9 months for the total surgery, Dylan, because it's the stitches aspect of it.
No golf.
Yeah, no golf this summer. I am on the injured reserve. No golf. Squatting, nope. Can't do that. Anything, leg extended wise from out the knee, extension, flexion, that's going to take a long time to come back. I'm in this heavy hinge knee brace where my knee's essentially going to be locked in straight for the next 4 to 6 weeks, probably closer to 6 weeks. And if you're wondering, yes, I have to sleep with this knee brace on. So I
flip your camera around. Show everybody what you're show us what you're working with here.
Why can I not spin it around like whoopsie? Like when I'm normally it's the selfie view, but this big monstrosity right here, folks.
And this isn't you being Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that, chicks love a guy with a sports injury, right? That's not what you're going for?
This is the best option long term, my guy. Because I could have done with the option where it's, the knee scope where they come in and they just trim it off and they cut that part of the meniscus off. Problem with that operation is you don't have that cushion. And you don't have that cushion in between your bones, and it's bone on bone. So over the years, you have heavy amounts of wear and tear on that bone, and you develop arthritis and then possibility for a knee replacement and a new knee. And I do not want that. So, like I said, it's the arthroscopic, it's the microfracture surgery. Put it in perspective, it's the surgery Russell Westbrook had in 2012 when he's playing for the Rockets. When Pat Bev came at him on the sideline there, Dylan? Yep. It's that injury.
Oh, okay.
So, it's going to be long road to recovery. Can't believe I'm already a week out. I'm used to wearing this brace, so probably another 5 weeks with that. Had my first physical therapy session on Tuesday, and I tell you what, guys, man, there is some trauma on this leg. I couldn't put socks on myself for 5 days. I couldn't bend down, and that brace was that big.
You didn't shower for
Didn't
3?
shower for 3 because I couldn't.
Oh. Yeah, I suppose.
You should have sat on the couch next time. I'm just kidding.
Well, Ethan, you may have said it, but I was thinking it.
Luckily,
so
at least
he didn't smell.
There's
Luckily,
that.
At least
it looks like you finally made it down the steps, though. You didn't completely
No, I'm on the upstairs room.
No, he hasn't.
Touched you are?
I haven't gone downstairs in over a week, Dylan. And
okay, I thought maybe I'm delusional, and I thought you had I I saw you downstairs in the basement, but maybe I was partially paying attention to one of your Snapchats. But okay, so you are still up in the my bedroom when I
That is
stay
correct.
there.
And probably, dude, I'll probably
Yes.
honestly be here for probably another 2 to 3 weeks, as long as I have these crutches, because I still got to walk around with crutches. With that, but I'm used to it. The days are actually surprisingly going by pretty fast.
I don't know how you do it.
It's just you kind of take a routine, and guys, even like one of the hardest things was you wake up in the morning and you got to go to the bathroom. I had to, extend this right leg out, almost put my left one back below 90 degrees and squat real carefully and standing up and even just trying to take a piss. That was hard. Putting socks on. Tell you what, once you have this microfracture surgery and with how limited of range of motion your ankles are, even when you take this bandage off, you don't really want to take a shower because it's a lot of work. It's hard. And I, had my first physical therapy session on Tuesday. It was nice to get some lifts and some exercises there I can work on, do those twice a day. And got another one here on Thursday, and just kind of a slow recovery, piece by piece. Eventually I'll get this brace off. Won't have the crutches anymore, but probably have that copper fit knee brace on, have a weight restriction on things I'll be able to lift, this summer, and probably by November, December, that's when I'll be back to, full strength and been able to maybe go to the golf simulator, not the golf course, the simulator, and maybe hit legs at the gym again. But in the meantime, it's just a slow recovery.
Yeah. So when are you able to go back to work?
Well, that's another thing. I'm not even actually allowed to drive until my surgeon clears me to drive, because I've they prescribed me with some pain medications, some Percocet, which is oxycodone, and then daily ibuprofen, an aspirin, so my blood doesn't clot up on me, and some other nausea medications if I need it, and something else. But I got to get the okay from the doctor to drive again. And it's on my right leg, and it's big and bulky, so it could be another 3 to 5 weeks until my surgeon clears me to drive.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's
Just because
that's
you
a
got to think
lot of standing around
with the
doing
driving,
nothing.
you need the reaction time and the mobility on my leg to accelerate and brake. And unfortunately, this brace is on my right leg.
Yeah,
And
that was I was just thinking about that too. I was like, you probably have it was on your right knee,
and
so
even getting into a car, guys, like when I get there, I have to put my left leg in first, of course, and then I have to lift my ass up and kind of carry my leg in.
that's a job in
It's not.
itself. You a thick boy.
So if you have like Ethan's old car, that Malibu, if I needed a ride,
you'd be dead.
him,
Yeah.
I ain't taking that car. So, but no, Alex truck was nice the other day when he drove me to therapy. And Ethan and Hannah, they were nice enough to bring me a care package with some goodies for some food last Thursday that I've had, so that was nice. But it's just the craziest things, guys. Of even just carrying a plate and making a meal, it can take 10, 15 minutes to do that, because you're walking around 2 crutches. You can only put so much in 2 hands. If you want to have a water bottle, you got to put that in a sweatshirt pocket. And you got to worry about icing it all the time. When you get sore, you got to have, a rag, a bag of frozen vegetables. By the time you go back and forth, it's 15, 20 minutes by the time you get a meal made.
Yeah.
So you really put in perspective when you are fully healthy and you don't have anything slowing you down about how good you got it. And then also, I realized this, and I told this to my parents and everything else. Sometimes you walk around the supermarket and you go by someone 75 and older. Old person, you're like, man, they stink. They don't smell good. Well, now I understand that. Because like what I told you, with how hard it was and how worried I was standing on this leg too long in the shower, sometimes you just want to get in and get out. You're not going to get all of those spots as best you can. And you just kind of say, screw it. I'm going to be honest. When I got the bandage off, I showered first on Saturday. And then I waited another 3 days until I showered again, just because I was kind of scared.
Yeah, and you've got a deep tub there too, which is I can't imagine
no.
also
I
being.
almost fell in
Nope.
it.
Didn't do it.
Yeah, you use
I use the
Alex.
walk-in.
I
Oh,
almost fell in a window.
that is a nice
Yeah.
roommate there.
Well, yeah, I couldn't. If I had to step in that shower,
I
I'd
suppose.
kill myself. I would fall and I'd hit my head.
Yeah, you would.
So, but yeah, there's
Um,
those crazy steps in this house. I'm not taking until I'm off of crutches. So,
especially with the dog that just runs around.
oh yeah,
downstairs.
and a crazy dog in this house.
where do you guys have your laundry room? Is that downstairs?
Downstairs.
Okay, so Alec is being a good
Well,
housewife and
luckily,
doing your laundry for
I'll
you.
catch this last weekend. Alec and his folks there in Vegas seeing Sting, watching the Final Four, getting some warm weather. So my mom was an angel, or she was just a mom, and she stayed up last weekend and helped me. She made a bunch of food for the week. She kind of did some laundry. She helped with the dog. But no, on Thursday this week, my parents are coming up. I'm gonna spend the weekend with them. Go down for Easter, hang out with the family. And probably again have them do a load of laundry for me. Hell, next weekend I might have them come up and pick me up again on that Friday, just so again can come down. Someone can do some laundry. I get out of this house a little little change of pace. So when you're not your fully self, you take that for granted, and
Yeah,
you
for sure.
appreciate everyone who's helped you out. I mean, Ethan's helped me out. Hannah's helped me out. My roommate Alec has helped me out. My parents, of course. Next week sometime, Alec's parents are coming to help me out. Take me to physical therapy and to my post-op with my physician. So you got to have a good crew of people, and you don't take them people for granted, and you appreciate it when you when you are shut down yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So glad you're still in good spirits.
But good news.
And what have you been watching on TV? What's been keeping you entertained throughout the day?
So I just finished season 2 of Mayor of Kingstown. Jeremy Renner, intense. Man, I tell you what, it makes you scared of prison. Seeing what goes on there with that. So finished Mayor of Kingstown, all caught up on that. Me and my mom, we watched both the Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston murder mystery movies this weekend.
Those the
the
Netflix
ones.
And, okay.
Caught up on an old Netflix show that I love. Not a Netflix show, it was on, Fox for a long time, but watching a couple episodes of New Girl here and there if I need a laugh. I finished Full Swing.
Okay.
I think today I watched the Kelsey Brothers podcast. I watched a couple of those this last week on YouTube. Watch New Heights. I wake up every morning and watch Good Morning Football when I'm not going to work. My normal days off, I wake up, I go to the gym early, I come home and I watch that. But hey, I'm not working out, so I wake up and whether it's at 8:30 or 9 o'clock, turn that on and Jamie Erdahl, Kyle Brandt, Peter Schrager, Jason McCourty. Those are 4 of my best friends now. So watching that, and then I might give Ted Lasso a shot. I've seen the first episode of that series a couple of times and thought it was good. And then Alec was telling me I need to watch a show on, I think it's on Amazon, Daisy Jones and the Six, about music group in the 80s. Essentially, it's like the story of Fleetwood Mac. He said it was one of the best TV shows on TV right now. So probably give that a shot next week. And then Ethan was over on Sunday. He helped with the dog. We watched The Hangover.
Well, that's
classic.
The dog didn't help anyone. She was a
she was worthless.
She like snapped at me.
Snapped at Alec the other night too.
Did she really?
Yep.
I was trying to get her to go outside, so I was like dragging her because she won't go if Grant doesn't go
It's
downstairs.
the craziest thing, Dylan. Like even when
Raleigh won't?
Like, even when I'm here, like me and Alec will be hanging out upstairs watching some TV, and then she'll be all, being a dog. It's like, all right, you already had food. You need to go to the bathroom. Alec will stand up, go to the stairs. She won't do anything. I'll stand up, and then she'll run outside. And even right now, while I'm in this big brace, in a bandage and on crutches, I'd almost have to act like I'm getting up to go fill my water bottle for her to take someone downstairs to go outside.
Yep.
Oh,
I don't.
jeez.
And she wouldn't even still go outside.
It's a thing, and luckily this week there's a chain out in the front, so if she needs to go out, I can bend down and grab that and let her out in the front. But that dog is pain in the ass.
It sounds like
Mhm.
it. Sounds like that, but
Yeah, no,
yeah. So sounds like
but
you're.
surgery went well. But like I said, they were able to repair it. I was in good spirits when I left the hospital. Again, through all these checkups that I've had, I've been given a clean bill of health. Good pulse, good blood pressure.
Good deal.
Lung percentage, was it lung satisfaction? Is that what it's called? I can't remember. That's been at 100%. Like I said, good blood pressure. Just had to clean this up a little bit. The IV went in nice and easy. And it was crazy. Actually, when I woke up from my anesthesia on the car ride home, I was having normal conversations with people on the phone. I wasn't
Oh,
loopy.
nice.
I wasn't in crazy weird spots. I mean, it seemed like last Friday, Saturday, the pain has gone away. I just need to kind of work on this rehab. And even, these last couple of days, the only medication I've taken is my daily aspirin and ibuprofen. I'm off the prescription stuff. And I should say, I'm not going to sell that. I will, that will garbage.
Fine, I already took some.
I was going to say, I was running pretty low on that Oxy. I didn't think I was that.
Yeah. I did.
Yeah, I knew you would.
Yeah. We'll send this to the Minneapolis PD.
Well, they're not going to.
We'll clip that part.
They deal with worse
The
stuff.
district attorney here, they don't prosecute people for anything, so we'll be fine.
The freaking what's her? I can't remember her
True.
name.
We got people.
Moriarty.
We got
or
people
something
stealing cars. We got young kids being shot left and right, but we can't.
We have kids in stolen cars swerving at cops on purpose, trying to entice them to a chase, and the cops won't do it.
We got
what?
Yeah, we got
yeah.
issues up here in Minneapolis, man.
It's probably a group of like 20 teenagers, like 16 to 20, that literally steal all these cars, and then they drive and entice cops to try and get them to chase them.
I thought we did dumb shit in high school when we were teenagers. These kids take it to the next level.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're fucking nuts.
Wow. No shit, jeez. But oh man. Well,
one cop car got rammed today. A sheriff. They couldn't do anything about it. Car sped away.
Jeez.
It's a shit.
But sounds like it. But Grant, you've got all these shows to watch, and luckily the Masters kicks off. Well, today when this episode drops, we're recording this Wednesday, but 2023 Masters, I applied for tickets, did not get them, so maybe there's always next year. Sounds like Scotty Scheffler is looking to, who is right now, he is the betting favorite at plus 750. He's looking to become the first defending champion at the Masters since Tiger did it in 2001 and 2002. There's a few different storylines here. It's the big one would be the PGA golfers versus the LIV golfers. Rory, he is looking to complete his career Grand Slam with a green jacket. Fun stat here is that there are 18 guys who have 3 of the 4 majors, and only 5 have a career Grand Slam.
No kidding.
I think a big key for Rory is he has to have a good Saturday. A good Saturday and Friday to at least give himself a shot. Last year, he was not good on those days. That's what ended up making the difference. He got second, but it was because he had a really good day on Sunday. But if you don't put yourself in contention on Friday and Saturday, you just kiss it goodbye.
Well, the weather's not looking good this year, so they're going to have to get out
uber early.
Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, the weather looks miserable. It's cold temps. It's rainy. Must be getting it from where we are. And it lucked out here, guys. We were supposed to get early in the week. We were supposed to get 12 inches. We got barely enough to cover the ground.
Oh, nice.
So praise God for that. Now it looks like we are on an upward trajectory over in Dickinson weather-wise.
51 with a 97% chance of rain. Sunday, 59 with a 57% chance to win. There's a very real chance they are playing Monday morning for this final round.
Oh yeah.
With that weather, yeah.
Even Friday, 77, 81% chance of rain. Like there's probably a 50-50 shot they're playing.
Well,
Monday.
and guys, who knows? It might
There's
even
a lot of mud balls. A lot of mud balls
going into Tuesday.
If it's that bad, they're not going to want to waste it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's well, and it could have. I don't know how many times I wonder how many times that's actually happened in the history of the Masters where it's gotten moved to Monday or a Tuesday. Of my lifetime, I don't really remember it ever happening. Not saying it didn't, but to my knowledge, it didn't.
Yeah. But my favorite thing that I want to happen is Rory and Brooks Koepka get paired up
in the final round
on the last day, on like the final round, like as 1 and 2, boom, boom. Because didn't Rory just say "fuck Brooks" in on the last episode of Full Swing? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want that. I want that drama.
That would be pretty funny.
Like they're all,
Brooks or Cam Smith, even Phil. What if Phil, guys?
Phil's playing with our boy Tom Hoagie. He's paired with him tomorrow.
What if Phil gets hot and he's in the final round for the Masters?
Phil looks like he's a cancer patient. You see how skinny his face and how skinny he is. He
looks bad.
He looks
terrible. Well, you know what his odds are plus 30,000 right now. So if you bet, you could win a lot of money betting him. If you just lay down a $10 bet, he wins. There's going to be a few rich people.
I was watching Andy North. And Van Pelt talking about it on ESPN today, and they're totally trying to play off the whole live versus PGA.
Oh, it's a thing.
It's a thing, 100%. Like we obviously know that on Full Swing, but they're like the only people they interviewed were the live golf people, and they're just like, yeah, we're just here, good to see all these people again. I'm like, dude, they fucking hate you, like, and everyone knows it. Like anyone that watches Full Swing knows there is a giant rift between them, and they want to beat the living shit.
Oh yeah.
Well, at the Masters dinner, Phil, I guess, just didn't say a single word. He just sat there and ate and did nothing.
Because Phil's a douche.
It's looking like it. But like right now, looking at the live guys right now, Cam Smith, who was in the final group last year, he was plus 2,500. Dustin Johnson's also at plus 2,500. Koepka is at plus 4,000. Bryson DeChambeau plus 12,500. Bubba plus 25,000, and Phil plus 30,000.
What's Tiger?
Tiger's plus 8,000. Rory said it the other day that Tiger. It's good that he's there. I hope he hangs on and makes the cut again. But right now it sounds I guess he's got a noticeable limp. Rory said that if he didn't have to walk, he would be the favorite.
Ah.
But so I think as that what's that?
They gave John Daly a cart once, did they not?
I think in non-majors, John Daly is able to because he filled out like a medical waiver or some type of thing. And Tiger if he were to
fill out the fucking waiver,
Tiger won't do it though.
I know he won't, but he should.
He should, but I think he's got too much pride to do it.
I know he does, but he would destroy everyone.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Tiger's going around. He's boozing. He's living life in his cart. Driving.
Just smoking
he's having a cigar.
Him and John Daly.
Taking down.
And then they finish their round by going to Hooters.
Taking down, 12 Diet Cokes in a round or whatever John Daly has.
A lot.
Back 20 years. Goes and hits a fire hydrant.
That's the kind of content I need.
Yeah, for sure.
Just back to shit.
But do you who do you guys have if you have to pick I guess we should talk too before we pick our winner, our go-to guy. If you had a big change at the course this year that a lot of people are talking about is the par 5 hole 13, where they changed the distance from 5:10 to 5:45. And I know that I was reading the article, it said when they were interviewing Tiger and Scotty about it, he's like, I think Scotty Scheffler said, it's long, a lot longer.
Well,
and that's going to be a major hole.
There, you have all those trees, and
you also have
you got the river in front of the green. So even if you hit a great tee shot, you get it over the trees, and you got that slight dogwood left. You have to come up. It's a small green, and you have to say this: do I want to go for it and end up in the water, or do I just play it safe? 90 yards out, chip it up, and get my 5.
Like, if you want to get it there in 2, you basically got to be Tiger back in, like, 98, hitting a 290-yard 2-iron. Like, that's literally how you're going to have to do it.
Because you have what?
Yeah.
And there might be 3 guys on the whole tour that can actually hit a ball.
You have what? Maybe 20 yards to play with in front of that river to the backside of that green?
If that. It's a very narrow green.
Yes.
It's not very big.
And they also raised the tee box, like, I think they elevated like 8 feet, too.
Yeah, so I mean that'll give.
So that adds to it as well.
Well, if they raised it up, that they're hitting downward then at that point. So that would make it easier for that. But even then, that river in front's going to just absolutely.
Well, and with how narrow the trees are, you're hitting into a fairway you can't see.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
They also changed the par 3 up, didn't they? I thought they said they changed the par 3.
That I'm not sure.
I'm not positive on that one.
But yeah, there was something else they changed. Scott Van Pelt was talking about it. I can't remember what it was now though.
And the other part too is with the weather is if their forecast predictions are correct, that's also going to add another element to that too, because 5:45 and you're hitting into the wind, you're maybe even getting a bogey is like getting a par.
Yeah. This could be one of those tournaments where like -2.
Or guys, it could even be U.S. Open scoring where +1 or +2, +3 wins it with this weather.
Yeah.
So
this ain't gonna be the
I'm excited to watch. Yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be. Should be a good one. Hopefully, we'll be able to. They'll get to get it in on Easter Sunday. But who do you guys got winning? If you have to pick, one.
Spieth. He's won.
Spieth. Oh, he's back.
He's won the last 2 Easters.
You're right. Yeah, the last 2 years he's won. He's finished. He's finished out on Easter Sunday.
Yep.
Oh,
so
it wasn't the Masters, but it was. Whatever the last 2 tournaments are, I remember seeing that.
I don't even know, but I know he's won the last 2. I think
one was like the Dallas Open or the Texas Open, something like
that. The Valero Open. That's what it was.
Yeah,
that was last week.
Yep. Dylan, I'm going with the number 2 player in the world, and I'm going Rory, and he completes the career major Grand Slam. And I think it's going to be personal. It's going to be personal for Rory. Live versus PGA. He's going to want to stay. Live guys.
I'm gonna be pissed if a Live golfer wins it.
And especially after he blew the Open last year, on that Sunday, he's gonna come in guns a blazing. I'm gonna go Rory.
Okay, and right now, Jordan Spieth is at +2,000. Or no, this is the first round leader. Never mind. Let's see here. Outright, Spieth is +1,400. Rory is the other betting favorite right now with Scheffler at +750. So part of me wants to go with Tom Hoge because he's North Dakota boy. Us North Dakota guys got to stick together. But it could be a long shot. He's actually been playing pretty solid. John Rahm is another popular pick, but ever since he's won the Genesis, he's not played very great.
His irons are failing him.
Yeah. A popular one, but it would be Will Zalatoris too. He's been in contention in the last few years, the last couple of majors, still has yet to get that first major. But he can't finish. He's had some injuries to start the year as well. And this course is not very favorable if you are if you're wounded either. It's a very grueling course. I think it's like 7,500 yards
It's insane.
total, probably more. And then all the hills and going up and down too. That's not easy on the body either. But I'm gonna go with Tiger's good buddy who got a tampon from Tiger a few weeks ago. I'm gonna go with Justin Thomas. Yep, I'm going with JT.
A great final Sunday pairing would be Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas.
Best friends.
That'd be
Yep.
great.
At plus 2,500.
Alabama versus Texas 2.0 this year.
That episode of them together on Full Swing.
That was my favorite episode.
Yeah.
Oh, easily.
It was. Well, we still got to review that. So one of these weeks we will. I might have to rewatch it again to make sure I get caught up to date to see if I catch anything I've missed. But before we get to Curveball of the Week, we're going to discuss some Masters dinner because Scheffler had his last night or Tuesday night now, and his was pretty solid. You guys will knock it down because of the cheeseburger sliders, but with the amount of food that is served there, the sliders, one might not be the worst. So what Scheffler had was cheeseburger sliders served Scotty style, which looked like there was some lettuce, tomato, and then French fries on top. And then there was firecracker shrimp with sweet Thai chili and sriracha mayo.
Ooh.
I would eat that. Tortilla soup with avocado, crispy blue tortilla strips, sour cream, and cilantro and lime. And then the main course was Texas ribeye steak or blackened redfish, family style mac and cheese, jalapeno creamed corn, fried Brussels sprouts, and seasoned fries. And then to top it off for dessert was a warm chocolate chip skillet cookie, milk and cookies ice cream.
Dude, I will bet you $100 the fancy word for that Texas ribeye is just a bone-in 12 to 16 ounce ribeye.
I bet you it was probably closer to 20.
Whatever.
They do things big in
Texas. There was a bone in there, and that's the only thing that made it a Texas ribeye.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I bet you Phil actually ordered a salad because he's a little rich.
Yeah. And he didn't get the salad. He got the garden salad.
He got the garden salad.
What a pussy.
But
exactly.
So going back, did you guys from the website I sent you guys, did you guys have a favorite one that you that sticks out that if you had to pick your best one and your worst one? Well, let's start with best.
I gotta go steak.
Well, which
oh shit! The whole thing.
Which winner?
Oh no! Jeez,
yeah,
I haven't even looked at it yet. I gotta look at it. I was doing dishes. I thought you just meant from.
For me, it was the winner from 2 years ago.
Matsuyama,
just because we get that A5 Wagyu beef.
Yep.
That sends it over the top.
Oh, for sure. And then the Dustin Johnson, there's a reason he's on the Live Golf Tour. Went with a filet mignon. Sorry if I'm eating a steak. I give me that ribeye. Give me that New York strip. Give me that porterhouse. Give me a T-bone. Don't give me this little tiny bitch of the cow.
Oh, it's got to be
Tiger.
Authentic Texas barbecue. Are you kidding me? That's such an easy choice.
Yep. Well, and he might get to do a
warm chocolate chip cookie. I mean, what else can you ask for?
Very true. Very true.
Maybe just an attractive side, and that's about it.
His green salad even sounds good. Cucumber, shaved red onion, and a balsamic vinaigrette. Like, that sounds phenomenal.
Patrick Reed's looked pretty good. Prime bone-in cowboy ribeye. What else did he have? Mac and cheese, cream spinach, corn creme brulee, steamed broccoli. The dessert was tiramisu, vanilla bean.
Reed's was the one, Dylan. I wasn't a big fan of his. No.
I
mean, of course, it's a great steak, the bone-in ribeye, but Kind of the sides, the mac and cheese is good, but just everything else you said is just kind of bland, if you ask me. So that
Yeah.
Reed's was
The
definitely the one I didn't like the most.
okay.
Another reason to take
Bubba Watson, I think I guess we can the best one since you took Spieth, and we won't go with Scotty, that one maybe next year. I think Tiger's 2019 one, because you can never go wrong with chicken or steak fajitas.
No, you can't.
No, I saw that too.
No.
Yeah.
What did he have?
Prime rib steak, right? Is that what it said?
Prime steak and chicken fajitas. That's
Mexican
you can never.
baked beans or refried beans.
Yep. Let's see here.
They eat, and then both Spieth and Tiger Woods had it looks like just a phenomenal Napa Valley caps off. So I mean, that's another you can't beat that.
If you're having steak.
Yeah, I mean. Oh, while we're talking about wine, Hey Dylan, Grant did say
What's
will
up?
go to the winery with us.
Hey, let's go.
I know.
When did I?
You totally agreed to it because I said they have nice pretzels with caramel and.
Oh, dude, I fuck with pretzels, bro. Oh my god.
You can get a beer. You can get a beer.
Oh, so you're telling me I can go to the winery, but I don't have to be better than everyone else. I can get a beer and I can get pretzels with beer cheese dip.
They do. They have a brewery actually in Chaska on top of the winery.
Just make sure it's after May 8th, and then I don't have this big bulky brace on.
Well, May 12th, we got the Twins game versus the Cubs. We switched our tickets because obviously.
Oh, there you go.
Day. So we're gonna go watch the Cubs.
Oh, I suppose.
Hold on.
There
Do I
you go.
need to Venmo you back then for the $45?
Eventually, don't worry about it.
You want it?
So he Venmoed me, then I Venmo him back because he couldn't go. Now we
guys, you want to know
again.
the sign of a good friendship? You and your friends are Venmoing each other back and forth the same $40.
Yeah, pretty much.
But so back to the Masters dinner. The worst one for me, it has to be Bubba Watson. Not because he did it once. He did this twice. He had a grilled chicken breast, which you're done. It's over. I'm sorry. You have a dinner in your honor and you choose a chicken breast? Are you kidding me? Be a man and eat a steak. You don't need that nervous burden. There's a reason why you didn't win it the next year.
I mean, don't get me wrong, dude. I will absolutely mess with some chicken breast because that's just who I am. But Dylan, to your point, I'm going to read the room, and if I know it's the most prestigious golf tournament in the world, we're going to put the chicken breast away, and we're going to go with some nice red meat here.
Yep.
And also, the fact that Bubba's from Georgia and he did the people of Georgia dirty. You're from your home state, and you're going to do that, dog? Like, come on now.
Yeah. And that's why he's on the Live Golf Tour.
I'm doing 2010. Angel Cabrera. Blood sausage? Really, man? Like, what the hell is that?
So Ethan does not have any Austrian or German roots.
No.
Trevor Immelman.
Well, I don't think Angel Cabrera does either.
That's true. What was that again, Big Dog?
2009, meat pie with egg.
Okay, well, first off, he's from England, so they couldn't even defeat 13 small colonies. He's a bitch.
No. 2008, Zach Johnson, Iowa beef.
Good old Angus beef.
Yep.
He probably had a sirloin.
Mike Weir in 04, elk, wild boar, and Arctic char.
I'd mess with that.
That sounds.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. That's the so Tiger I said 0102, correction. He was 02 or no, yeah, he would have won in 01 and 02 cuz it was the previous year. But in both years when his back-to-back year, he had porterhouse steak, chicken and sushi, sashimi, crab cakes, asparagus, mashed potatoes, and chocolate truffle cake. And then in 06, he had 06, he had stuffed jalapeno and quesadilla starter, salad, chicken and steak fajitas, rice, apple pie, and ice cream.
Tiger's a big appetizer kind of guy. He's an
Oh,
appetizer
yeah.
kind of guy. Well, that makes sense.
He
He
is.
likes multiple different entrees at his meal, and he likes to have sex with different women when he's married. So
Yep. You nailed that
he is
one,
the goat, but he's not without flaws.
but we will see. We have Justin Thomas. He'll be getting his own, or Rory going to be getting his own, which is going to be some probably just disgraceful thing from England that he'll
Baked
probably
beans.
do. Yeah.
English beans.
Just English bean, taters and mash, or bangers and mash, whatever the hell it's called, or Spieth. So we'll see. And with that, I guess we're gonna kick it over to Wounded Knee for Curveball of the Week.
Reserve, but Wounded Knee is a great Native American name. If I was part of the Sioux tribe here in Minnesota.
Some people are actually absolutely insulted right now.
That is, but hey.
Tell it to the therapist.
What can I say? So, speaking of food, we're going to stay on this topic, guys. All
right.
You're sitting down, and you're only allowed to have one meal the rest of your life. For dinner. Okay. One dinner the rest of your life. 5 p.m. and after. What are you having and why? What's the one dinner if you can only have one for the rest of your life, what are you doing? And I will say this, if you pick something broad like pizza, I want a specific kind. You're not getting off on a technicality. And if you say sushi, I want a specific roll.
Well, Grant, I already know you're going to channel your inner Bubba Watson and have chicken breast, so we don't even have to go to you. For me, I would probably have to say I'm going to go with a and is it like one thing, or can we have like a full meal with sides and everything? Or is it just one
in sides? You can get all the fixings, but that's your one dinner. That's your one dinner for the rest of your life.
Okay. I think I would go with a good ribeye, like a 16-ounce ribeye, medium rare. And I would have a baked potato and asparagus. And to drink, I would have need something that would put me asleep. No.
Whiskey.
And you know what? Screw it. It's Masters Week. I'm going to have an Arnold Palmer to drink.
Okay. Not bad.
That's not bad.
Not bad. All right, the price is right.
I'm gonna go with Bunny's Tavern Burger with I know with the side of queso, obviously, and then just your classic rail whiskey Coke.
God, if that doesn't say Ethan, I don't know what is.
Yeah,
but, oh my God, that Tavern Burger, dude, with a couple pickle spears on the side. Oh, doggy! God,
it gets it hard. It really does.
Man, it makes me.
And I'm not
makes me want no. Makes me want to go back to Bunny.
Grant's getting the peanut butter just thinking about it right now.
We're almost out. I gotta remember to get some.
I took an Uber over today. I took an Uber over yesterday and I got.
Ethan's gonna go over to your house, Grant. And he's like, "Hey, Grant, where's the peanut butter in there?" And there's just gonna be a giant hole in the middle.
He's gonna come in, and I'm gonna say, "You should have knocked before you came in. You're seeing something you shouldn't see."
Not the first time.
Hey, he's not wrong, and it's awesome. I mean, call animal control.
Yeah, what are you picking?
Come on now. You guys already know this. Chicken breast is involved, but it's gonna be Chipotle. I want the Chipotle bowl with the their new chicken al pastor chicken that just came out with a little buffalo sauce, little cilantro on top. We're getting that. It's damn good. It's better than their plain chicken breast, even though Chipotle's chicken is better than anything else out there in terms of like burrito places. But, we're just going to go with the classic Chipotle bowl with a tortilla on the side. Double rice, double beans, fajitas, all the sauces except the hot, extra fajitas, tortilla on the side. Life is good.
Okay, there you go. What are you getting to drink? What's your drink of choice?
It's probably water, or if I want to spice it up, give me a Fairlife. Give me a chocolate Fairlife on the side.
I don't think I've ever seen
all right.
Get a pop.
No, dude. It's really the only things I'll drink is, of course, water, orange juice, thing of Fairlife, and then a post-workout Spark. Other Advocare supplements. So yeah, it's water, Fairlife, orange juice. Simply orange juice because I'm an orange juice snob. If I'm going to get a gallon of milk, we're drinking whole milk and Advocare supplements. Those are the only 5 things I drink.
Okay, there it is. Grant, basic
Simple.
Man.
He's literally.
I
don't mean that in a negative way.
What was that? I missed that.
B squared. He's a basic bitch.
I said you are about as basic as it get, but I didn't mean that in a negative
Someone's
way.
got to be low maintenance. Yeah. And some people might say I'm a little too low maintenance.
Yeah.
So if you guys are
low maintenance.
Now this is a big if. If I ever am to get in a relationship or get married someday, I'm going to have to find someone who's going to have to yell at the waiter that I got a baked potato when I wanted French fries, because God knows I'm not going to say it when it comes out.
You're going to eat it either way. Yeah. Oh well, I had French fries. Shoot. Okay. Oh, and then for my baked potato too here is butter, sour cream. Actually, no. Take it back. It's a twice baked potato, not just a baked potato. It's a twice baked potato.
I need you. I want to hear. I just need to hear it. I need to hear it. Because there's plenty
bacon,
of people out there,
of course,
who do not get the bacon, and
well, you don't want to associate with those people.
I'm just saying.
But all right, well then I guess that wraps it up. We'll be recapping Masters Week and whatever else comes up. Hopefully, hear from Ethan. No, Ethan won't be at a Twins game, so since that got moved back. But thank you guys for listening. Check us out on all of our social media platforms at Facebook and YouTube at Three Guys Talking Ball Podcast. We'll be posting the segments of the show on Friday. As always, you can check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at 3GTB Podcast as well. And that puts a bow on episode par 72 of the Three Guys Talking Ball Podcast. We'll talk to you next week.